Have not fired it up in weeks. The other problem with this thing is it's too nice. Figure out how much profit you made on this bike. Take yourself to a break-even number and pay me my money back. I have not actually heard it or had it run on all cylinders. Hey guys, I wanted to fill you in on some of the projects we got going on, especially the Atom. I know I haven't done a video with the Atom for a while, and we have been doing stuff with it. So one of the first biggest things we actually got done with the Atom is I had the wheels taken to a shop, and we actually, you can see we got the wheels fixed, and I decided to take it down a couple shades, which is a little bit darker than the frame, but I think it kind of offset. I didn't want to go black, that seems too cliche. But I thought this looked really good. Also, the tires were wearing out. I put these really sticky Toyo R888Rs. These are supposed to be some of the stickiest tire out there. When you look it up, what the application is for racing and autocross. I mean, you just touching them. I mean, they just pick up stones in the shop. I'm pumped. I mean, I think just putting these tires on here, before we were doing a 0 to 60 in like 3.6, 3.7 seconds, but we were spinning a lot. I think just with these tires on here, we should be able to get 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Just with doing the tires. The lug nuts on here were a goofy, weird size that I didn't have the tool for, so I had to borrow a tool. I put some regular, black lug nuts on there. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what's going on in here. Take that off. I'll explain that in a moment. So the shifter is sloppy. Just a really, it was a pretty sloppy shifter. And I found out that I started making a video showing how I was going to replace the bushings in the shifter. I thought I was going to replace these bushings right here, and I thought it was because this was a cobalt shifter. Actually, I found out that it's not a cobalt shifter. It's actually a shifter from a Honda TSX or a manual Honda TL. So it was actually a shifter from a Honda TL, and this is the old one. It's made of some type of plastic composite, and then I bought this one. Now everyone that I talked to about this one said there's no way that's going to fit your Atom. There's no way there's a Honda shifter inside your Ariel Atom 2. It is. It's the same thing. Everything matches up. The problem is when this one goes in here, it's too tall, and it actually hits this piece right there. That piece right there actually hits the top of the frame. So what I need to do is I need to get this bottom plate remade so it's only about maybe 1/8 of an inch thick, and that should do it. At that point, I'll be able to put the thing back in the car. I'll be able to drive the car, have fun, enjoy it for the summer, and then in the wintertime, start doing project. I have no idea why I decided to work on this in the prime best time to be driving it. It's just killing me that I can't drive it right now. It really sucks. But of course, we got that front bonnet piece on. Pretty much all the body's done. We do need to fix this fiberglass, but I'll get that done in the wintertime. Now over here, I had a problem. Now when I put on these bigger tires, so I went with, instead of 215s, I went with 225s on the back. When I put on the bigger tires, they fit perfectly under all the fenders, except for this one fender. And this one fender was just kind of sitting down. It's kind of leaned in a little bit, and it was touching the tire. I knew that I could go buy new fenders. I could buy new fenders. I could buy new, fender mounts for pretty cheap on a website called skunkworks.com. It comes out of UK. It's where we got the bonnet and this other hood cowl. No, the air intake cowl. I was messing around with this. I ended up ripping it off. Ended up breaking it, but I was like, okay, it's no big deal. Now it's a good reason for me to go buy the new ones. As soon as I go online, I realized that they were out of stock. Now I don't know how often they replenish their stock, because I imagine it's not very often because there's not that many Atoms out there. That I was kind of discouraged about that, because I got a lot of projects going on. You know what I mean? I don't have 8 hours, I don't have 10 hours or a couple days to fix a fender. A week ago, this happened like a month ago. A week ago, I jumped online and I realized that they had multiple different types. They had fiberglass ones, they had composite ones, they had They had plastic ones, and they were out of some of them, but not out of all of them. So I ordered a new fiberglass ones. They did not have the mounting brackets, which I wish they still did, because you could actually, the way these are, I can take this thing out right now with this thing off. But the way the new ones are, you just stick it in there and then bolt it in. I'll explain later. That's kind of a little bit confusing. So from Skunk Works, I ordered the new front wing, which is gonna look awesome. It's got like a double wing and big side things. That really should make the car look great. I ordered new fenders. I actually went with wider fenders. I think those are 215 millimeter. I went with like the 225 or 230 millimeter, which should be a little bit wider, so the tire doesn't hang over at all. So last time I ordered stuff from there, it came in really, really quick. This stuff should come in pretty quick also. Other than that, the Atom's doing great. Have not fired it up in weeks. Now let's go to my my next, not really a project. I kind of bought it pretty completed, very completed. Would be the 96 Dodge Viper. So if you had anything similar to a Pulse in the 90s, this was probably the car that you wanted to own someday. You probably had a poster of the car on your bedroom wall, and it was kind of my dream car. It was one of my dream cars. I'm a car guy. I like all types of cars. So anytime being a car guy, yeah, right, you enjoy the car you own, but it's also about the next car. It's kind of that chase, it's kind of that hunt. The problem with the Dodge Viper, and I really like this car, this thing gets more eyeballs, this thing gets more attention than probably the Atom does. This thing, because people see the Atom, they're like, oh, what is that, some kid car, whatever. It's exciting, but this gets attention. You can't drive this thing down the highway without like teenagers and 30-year-old men just like looking at your window and being like, giving you the thumbs up. Now when you're driving the Corvette, no one cares. Everyone's got a Corvette. This thing just really pops. Now I put these cool HRE wheels on it that I got for really cheap. I just had this thing detailed from the local Cadillac shop. They made it look amazing. I also had these the lower rockers painted, because they have because the exhaust runs through there. They have an issue with the heat, and it starts to bubble. So I had them painted. They match the paint perfectly. It looks awesome. Very, very seamless. I was having an issue with this button on the other side, but I took it to my shop. The guy took him 2 times, but he got it fixed. It works 100%. I had the door cap. It was a little oxidized. I had that polished. So if you're looking for something that's, I mean, honestly, this is probably one of the cheapest, most reliable, easy to fix, easy to maintain, exotic cars you can get. Jay Leno, of course, has 1 or 5 or something like that. He describes it as you can work on it with a hammer. You don't need these specialty tools. Pretty much you can take this thing to like a normal shop. You shouldn't, but you could in a pinch, and they can work on it. Some of the problems with a car like this is it is getting harder and harder to find tires. Sometimes a bunch of people that own Vipers, they all order tires at the same time. A lot of times they're out of stock and they are expensive. You're looking about $1,800 for a set of tires for these things. And I, of course, do have I got the stock set of wheels for it. The problem with this car, the reason I'm not going to keep it is, a couple things. One, I got too much stuff. I got this, I got the Atom, I got the 2010 supercharged Grand Sport Corvette. I've got the Eldorado. I got the Power Stroke van. A couple other work vehicles. I don't need that many cars. I can't enjoy that many cars at the same time. The other problem with this thing is it's too nice. It checks off all the good boxes. It's got a clean title. It's never had, this is normal to have paint work, but it's never had any body paint work. It's got the good wheels. It's got there's no real Viper packages. They're all the same, but it's the paint color that everyone wants. The miles at 43,000 are good miles. It's the year. This is the first year of the GTS. This is the year everyone wants. It's just too valuable. So I would have much more fun. I don't want to be the guy that broke it. I don't want to be the guy that like this sat in my garage and my kids put a dent in it and I got to deal with that. This clamshell hood, if you try to replace it, this was the most expensive American auto part that you can buy, and I think it was like $17,000 or something like that if you were to buy this, brand new a couple years ago. It is a fiberglass car, so it's not going to dent like it should, but it's just the car's in too good a shape. I would have much more fun if this was like a salvage title one that was, wrapped, had a cool looking wrap on it, and I could beat it up a little bit more. Honestly, I would probably have more fun with that. So I'm gonna get rid of it. Let someone else enjoy it. It's given me no issues. It looked like it overheated one time, and it was a temp sensor. Other than that, I've really had no issues with it. I do plan on doing a video. I've been prolonging actually trying to selling it for a little while. I do plan on doing a video about the car. We did take it to the dyno. That was a lot of fun. I'll release that video. I am thinking about taking it to CarMax. I know it's kind of cliche, but I want to see if they're going to give me more than what Doug DeMuro got for his. He had a 97, not as desirable as a 96. He had a little bit less miles on his. He didn't have the cool looking wheels, but I think I can get more than what Doug did because he sold his like almost a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years ago. These things have been going up in value. So if I can beat $25,000 from CarMax, I think I got to win. I'm not going to sell it to them for that much, but I'd be pretty interested to see what they would do with that. Come over here to the motorcycle project. Just a quick update on what's going on with the Honda Rune. So from the dealership we bought it from, we never actually obtained the title. And what I ended up doing was they were going to buy the bike back from us. They said, listen, we can't get you the title. We're just going to buy it back. At this point, I had spent so much money transporting this thing. It was a bad idea for me to sell it back to them, but it was a bad idea for them to do it also. So what I said was, all right, figure out how much you made, figure out how much profit you made on this thing. For you to undo the deal, you already have thousands of dollars in this. The guy who you bought it from is not going to pay you for that stuff. Figure out how much profit you made on this bike. Take yourself to a break-even number and pay me my money back. So we bought this for significantly cheaper than what we originally bought it from, but we bought it as is with no title. We are currently working as hard as we can to get a title for it. Now I did list this thing for sale for about 2 days. I got tons and tons of phone calls, and then I kind of changed my mind. The most interesting phone call we got was a guy that wanted to trade in a Boss Haas. It's a 1999 Boss Haas with the Z24 motor in it, GM crate, 350, and that was a pretty interesting trade just because I wanted to ride one. The problem was it was in New Mexico, so I was hoping if it was like a state away, a couple states away, I would drive this to him, pick up the Boss Haas, drive it back, make a video about it. That would have been awesome. I would have been super pumped about it. But he's in New Mexico, and I don't think I'm going to do it. It's also an older Boss Haas. The current plan with this is I am going to do a video series, maybe one of the only video series ever done of anyone restoring a Honda Rune. I mean, obviously it's such a new bike. It's ridiculous that anyone would have to restore a Honda Rune, and I'm aware of that. But I'm going to take this whole thing apart, take every single little minute chrome piece off this bike, and I'm going to take it to a shop and get it dipped, and then put it all back together. The problem with that is you're not really able to support the bike from underneath. So I have to figure out a way that I can suspend the bike, because I'm going to take the front end off. I got to figure out a way that I can suspend the bike and then dismantle it, but have the bike just suspended for the next month or two. So probably what I'm going to do is mount them right on these crash bars on both sides and put them on the I-beam in my garage at my house. So that's the thing. I'm pumped. We'll get this thing all back up, and we probably have to get this rear fender painted because there's a little scratch on it. And if I'm going to go through all that work, I might as well make it perfect. And then brings us to our GS750E, and still working on it. This is the bike that I plan on driving to Georgia later this week. I have not actually heard it or had it run on all cylinders, but I'm pretty confident it will. And the plan was to spend less than $100 to get it there. So we'll still be doing videos on this. We should have one possibly Friday coming up on me getting this thing running. I can't wait. It should really be a fun trip. I've not done a long trip like that in a very long time. That wraps it up. That's kind of what's going on with me and my projects. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you guys later.
Oh, there was an opening.
Busted open.
What? Where'd it go? It went through there?
It jumped in here and squeezed in like this.
What?
And then that was shut. Yeah, it kicked that gate open.
Dude, that's crazy.
I was getting real close, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were.